60,000 years ago, the world was unrecognizable, cold, silent, and merciless. Every step was a gamble. Every morning could be your last. The forest gave shelter, but it also hid things that hunted. He had no weapons, no walls, no fire, only instinct. Giants roamed freely, and humans were not at the top of the food chain. In the dark, something always watched, always waited. Together, they were slightly less vulnerable, slightly. The sky itself seemed to declare war on all living things. This stone, this edge, this was the only thing between life and death. The earth itself was hostile. Every direction held danger. There was nowhere to go, and yet they chose to survive. Somewhere in that wilderness, life persisted. The cave lion, larger than anything alive today, and it was always hungry. Smilodon never ran. It waited, and then it was already too late. Wolves didn't attack the fire. They attacked the moment it died. The cave bear could weigh 1,000 pounds, and it wanted the same cave you did. Even the scavengers were bigger, stronger, and more numerous than the humans. You can't outrun a bear, so you had to outthink one. Danger didn't only come from the ground. The sky was predatory too. Water crossings were not a choice. They were a gamble with death. Some predators didn't chase, they just held on. Even prey animals could kill you. Size was power, and you had none. Attacked, injured, alone, and still, he did not stop. They were surrounded every single night. Fire was the only reason they lived. Water, without it, you were dead in 3 days, and they knew it. At the water hole, predator and prey shared the same desperation. Calories meant survival. She would suffer stings for that honey, and gladly. They ate roots, bark, insects. Pride was a luxury, survival was not. The ocean gave when the land didn't. They learned to listen to the tides. Even the bones of dead animals fed them. Nothing was wasted. Vultures led them to food. Learning to read the sky was a survival skill. Patience was a weapon, sometimes the only one they had. They couldn't overpower their prey, so they used the land itself as a weapon. They won. This time. Tomorrow the hunt began again. Every scrap of food was shared. The young survived because everyone fought for them. Coming home meant surviving another day. That was enough. They had seen fire before. The sky made it. They feared it, and they wanted it. It burned, it killed, and yet something pulled them toward it. Carrying fire meant carrying life itself. You did not let it die. The moment a spark became a flame, everything changed. Making fire from nothing took skill, patience, and faith. Sitting around that fire, for the first time, they felt less alone. Fire did what no spear could. It drew a line predators wouldn't cross. Cooked meat meant more calories, less disease. Fire literally made them stronger. Fire became a forge. Suddenly, their weapons had teeth. Fire didn't just warm them, it became their greatest hunting tool. Fire was knowledge, and knowledge passed down was the key to everything. Around the fire, they became more than survivors. They became a people. Before the hunt, they planned. This was the first strategy meeting in human history. Intelligence was their weapon. They watched, remembered, and planned. Alone, they were prey. Together, in formation, they became hunters. They couldn't fight a mammoth, so they made the ground betray them. Deception, camouflage, the predator's tricks, stolen and turned against them. Persistence hunting, run in shifts until your prey can run no more. Every part had a purpose. Waste was a death sentence they refused to accept. The atlatl tripled throwing distance. Suddenly, they could kill from safety. They used sound, landscape, fear, every tool their minds could conceive. Knowledge of the animal, its habits, its fears, that was true power. The bow changed everything. For the first time, they could kill at a safe distance. They held councils, they debated, they decided together. Democracy was born from desperation. No single human could survive, but a group could build a world. They carried their wounded. An injured hunter, healed, was a hunter again. Each person had a role. Together, the group was more than the sum of its parts. Trade, alliance, the first networks of trust between strangers. Stories were how they survived. Knowledge encoded in narrative, passed through generations. Alone, prey. In a circle, a wall of spears no predator wanted to test. They buried their dead with ceremony. Grief and love made them human. Sharing food wasn't charity. It was the contract that held them together. A tool made by two is sharper than one made alone. They understood this. Ritual built courage. Together they became braver than any of them alone. Signal fires, a warning network spanning miles, the first communication system. They celebrated surviving. Joy was not a luxury. It was the fuel that kept them going. Winter didn't arrive. It attacked, and it gave no warning. They didn't have fur, so they took it. Every hide sewn was a life saved. Mammoth bones built the walls. The beast that once hunted them now sheltered them. Under the ice, life continued, and so did the hunt. They had planned ahead. The food they buried in autumn was all that stood between them and death. Some winters lasted months. Every morning they woke up was a victory. Sickness in winter was a death sentence. All they had was each other. They discovered plants that healed, trial and error, and those who died trying taught those who lived. When food ran low, no one ate more than their share. The group came first. Even in the worst blizzard, the hunt could not stop. The hungry couldn't wait for spring. Spring, they had survived. Again, they stood in the sun and breathed. Every spring was a second birth, earned through months of impossible endurance. They kept moving, across continents, across impossible terrain, always forward. No mountain was too high, no sea too wide. They crossed every barrier the world put in their path. They looked at the water and figured out how to cross it. Nothing stopped them. They painted the walls. Art was memory, art was meaning, art was humanity itself. Music was born in the caves, and it bound them to each other beyond words. From enemy to ally, the wolf became the dog, the greatest alliance in natural history. They killed the thing that had hunted them for millennia. The hierarchy had shifted. They stopped running, they built. The nomad was becoming the settler. They found that seeds could be ground into food. This small discovery would change everything. Plant, wait, harvest. For the first time, they could plan beyond tomorrow. They had claimed the land, not by force, but by intelligence, persistence, and unity. One generation's hard-won knowledge became the next generation's starting point. That was their superpower. That person in the cave is you, 60,000 years between you. Nothing else. The instinct to protect the young has not changed, not once, in 60,000 years. They left their handprints on cave walls to say, I was here, I existed, I mattered. Cities are just campfire circles, scaled up across 10,000 years of dreaming. Every tool in a museum was once someone's desperate solution to a deadly problem. Teaching a child to survive, that instinct has never changed. It never will. They looked at the same stars. asked the same questions, felt the same awe. Their DNA is in your body right now. You are the proof that they succeeded. They weren't primitive. They were fully human, as complex, as loving, as afraid as you. Every choice they made rippled forward. Your existence is proof of the choices they got right. Everything they learned, you inherited. Every scar they earned became your strength. They survived against everything. And so, here you are,